I'm Michael Bain, and welcome to Triggered, coming to you as always from the secret hidden bunker in the Rocky Mountains and Dragon House Studios, and brought to you this week by MTM Case Guard and Hunter's HD Gold, including these, the Active Blue sunglasses, easily the best sunglasses I have ever owned in my entire life. They are going to be available for purchase from Hunter's HD Gold on the 28th of August. They'll have their own website. You can find that, of course, on michaelbain.tv, and you're going to definitely want a pair of these because, you know, it made me look like Tom Cruise. Think of what it'll do for you. I've noticed a fairly interesting trend recently where several of my friends have purchased 9mm lightweight commander length or smaller 1911s. And I've asked, I said, why have you started buying 1911s again? Because believe me, we all bought a lot of 1911s back in the day. And they're like, you know, we're thinking that it might be nice to carry a 1911, a lightweight 1911 in 9mm. And on one of the groups that I belong to on the internet, there's been a lot of discussion of the Colt Defender, which is a 3-inch 1911 9mm. They make a 45, but you know, come on, you want the 9mm version. And they were saying how hard it was to find any, and I said, well, let me show you mine the next time we film. So you've seen this before, but this is my Colt Defender 9mm 1911. And to me, the best thing about this gun, which really kind of lit up my eyes when I first shot it at, I believe, a gun sight event that Colt put on years and years and years ago, was that it worked. Because there's always been a basic problem with small 1911s, where they're 45 or 9mm, which was even worse, and that was making sure the mainspring was actually that recoil spring that operates the slide, that you got exactly the right poundage or it wasn't going to run. Well, that's a problem that's been solved. There's a double recoil spring in this gun. It runs like a top. This particular Defender came out of the custom shop. It's got a set of Crimson Trace laser grips on it. I blow hot and cold on that these days. The reason that I might blow cold on it is it makes for a fatter little gun. Beaver tail, a little bit dug in there pretty well. Undercut for the trigger, underneath the trigger guard here. It's got a set of Novak sights on it. You see the bull barrel, it doesn't use a bushing. But this is really an exceptional little gun. And I can see carrying a little gun like this. It's got an alloy frame, it's about 24 ounces. So it's going to put it about 3 ounces heavier than, say, a Glock 19. But why not? Because I think we've seen that 10 rounds, we have 9+1 in this gun. You have a 10+1 magazine that you can get. Flush magazine is going to give you 7+1. That's going to do pretty well. And I guess the primary reason that I wanted to mention here is that 1911s shoot so well. They are the definition of ergonomics. And so when you look at this little Colt Defender and you put it in something like, say, this Simply Rugged leather holster here, you end up with a really great carry package. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about 1911s. Welcome back to Triggered, where today we're talking about a trend in 9mm 1911s, commander length and shorter for potential carry guns. Part of that is because we've been carrying guns a long time now. I've been carrying a gun virtually every day since 1986, since Florida did the first shall issue carry in the country. And when I decided I wanted to talk about potential 9mm carry guns, this one came immediately to mind. This is a Tisa Stingray. It is a commander length alloy frame 1911, and you can see here it uses an Ed Brown bobtail magazine, which initially I thought those things were kind of a gimmick. They're not. they really do make the gun conceal better, and they really make it feel better in my hands especially. This gun is light. It has an excellent trigger pull. It has about a 4.5 pound trigger pull. Essentially, it has the same trigger pull as my custom shop Defender. And you notice the red dot on top. That's what really takes this over the edge for me as potentially an excellent carry gun. It's got a red dot. The red dot that's on it right now, which I think is a really great gun, a great dot for this gun, is a Shield RMSC compact dot. And you can see it fits really well on the width of a 1911 frame. Now, you can put a red dot on this gun, and you can't put a red dot on the Defender because this is a Series 70 gun. The Series 80 guns from Colt used a trigger pin that came down into extra safety, they said it was. Actually, it was a piece of junk. It was crap when they did it. It remains crap for anybody who continues to do it because it makes you have a bad trigger pull. You can get a good trigger pull on a Series 80, but it's more trouble than you can on a Series 70. But because that pin, that trigger plunger, is held in place by the sight, makes it really hard to mill down deep to put a sight in a Series 80 gun. You can't do it. Well, with a Series 70 gun like this Tisa Stingray, not a problem. And the Shield sight's incredibly durable, incredibly lightweight, something that Rob Latham brought out when he was shooting 1911 with a red dot on it as 9mm 1911, shooting it in IDPA. He pointed out that the bigger sights on it, he could feel the extra weight of the sight as the gun ran. Of course, that's Rob Latham, the great one. But that's a fair point, that when you add weight onto a slide, it's going to change the way the slide runs. But with this ultra lightweight Shield, it makes this a world-class carry gun, a gun that I'd feel totally comfortable carrying. And when we come back, I got a couple of new products for you. This week's Triggered is brought to you by Taurus USA. Always ready, always bring it. Stoeger, everyday tough. SDS Imports, Tisas. Tisas means quality. Hunters HD Gold. They change so you don't have to. And MTM Case Guard. Quality shooting sports accessories. Welcome back to Triggered, where, of course, since we've been talking about 1911s the whole show, it makes sense that our new product is for a revolver. But it's a really important new product. It's the Immediate Action Carrier. It is a 2-shot carrier that fits on your belt. It was designed by my good friend and really a world-class trainer, Cecil Birch, at Immediate Action Combatives. He worked with Dark Star Gear. Of course, Dark Star Gear makes some of the very best Kydex holsters in the entire world, but he worked with Dark Star to come up with these carriers. They fit on a 1.5-inch belt, and the reason there are 2 carriers on here is that it is easier to load 2 rounds at a time into a revolver than virtually any other combination. So when you've got 2 rounds, you're going to pull these 2 rounds off this, drop them into the cylinder of the revolver. They're really inexpensive. That's why I have 4 of them here. If you wanted to, you could carry a full reload, 6 reloads, even 8. I happen to be shooting the I-Corps Colorado State Championship coming up in a few weeks, and I'll have a couple of these on my belt because I hate surprises. And I have dropped a speed loader in competition. It's really pretty entertaining. But anyway, if you're carrying a revolver for self-defense, you're considering carrying a revolver for self-defense, you really need these. Once again, the Immediate Action Carrier from Dark Star Gear. Okay, that's it for this week. You can find everything we've talked about here at michaelbain.tv. Of course, links to everything we've mentioned here on the show. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on Rumble. And there's a lot of good stuff waiting for you. Check it out. We'll see you next week.